Hi folks, it's Andy. Welcome to this episode of Kendo Video Feedback. Okay, so here we are for another episode of Kendo Video Feedback. In this series of videos, I take some footage that you wonderful channel viewers have sent in to me. We watch it together, I give some feedback, and hopefully everybody benefits in some way. We're going to get to the videos in just a minute. I've got 5 submissions today, 5, all right? So we're going to jump right to them. But first, look, like, share, subscribe, all right? Notifications, all the YouTube stuff, Ninja Robots, grow population, 10 billion, all that stuff. Let's do it, all right? Shop at KendoStar. KendoStar is the best Kendo equipment website ever to have graced the face of the universe. Now, of course, I would say that because I own the place. But shopping at KendoStar is what supports the channel. You get fantastic Kendo equipment, the best in the world, if you ask me. And of course, unbeatable service, all right? So as the Japanese proverb goes, everyone's a winner, baby. That's the truth, okay? So shop at KendoStar. Right. Okay, so as I say, we've got five submissions to get to today. So let's dive straight in. Okay, so first one. I'm a college student in California. I've been doing Kendo for almost a year now. I got the chance to compete in my first tournament. I was hoping to get some feedback on my Kendo. I have 2 videos from the tournament. I'm on the left in both videos with the white tasking. Okay, the first is the Q individual division. The second is the Taisho in the Q teams division. Okay, great. I'd appreciate any advice for my improvement on my 0 to Shodan journey. Great. Thank you so much for the channel. No problem. Okay, right. Let's have a look. So first we're going to look at your individual match, all right? We'll look at your individual match first off. Okay. So you said you was on the left, right? Okay, all good so far? All good so far? Okay, right. So here's what we need to get stuff sorted, is you need to get that Humikomi sorted. Okay, the Humikomi. All right, because if we look, you see how far in advance your right foot is landing before your Shiai. All right? So it's kind of the opposite in a way, but you know, in general, the idea is that you launch forward with your Humikomi and you strike at the same time. When that's broken down into sort of super slow motion, generally the Shiai makes contact before the foot. But I don't want you to sort of get too bogged down on that. What you need to do is, what you're doing at the minute is you're stepping out with the right foot as you try to hit, which of course the footwork is kind of, it moves faster than the Shiai. So that's why the foot lands first. So instead of stepping out with the right foot, you need to push with your left leg. Push yourself forward with the left leg. The whole purpose of the Fumikomi is to launch yourself forward and to try to transmit your momentum and body weight into your Shiai for a powerful strike, all right? Whereas if you're just stepping forward with the right foot as you hit, that's not going to happen, okay? Okay, so good. Look, you know, your knees are probably a little bit too bent. It's not unusual for somebody of the point you're at. So I'm not super concerned about that. Yeah. But it is something for the future, okay? Is it me or is this court massive? Where's the line? Is it the black one? Can't tell which the line is. No, it must be a white one. It must be that one. Oh, it's that one. I see it. Oh, you got a nice big court. That's great. Okay, this is good. Oh, good. Really good point there. That was a really good point. Okay. Men. Really good. Well done. I like that. Don't want your left heel flat on the floor here. Okay? Never want your left heel flat on the floor. Okay, so here when he came for the door, you see how he sort of jumped back? I think maybe you were hoping to do another sort of nukiwaza, and it's like almost worked. It's almost worked, but like you don't get the sort of impact because you sort of jump back in this way. So you know, I don't know. I don't know. For me, like the best in this position would have been probably to move into defend and then look for a kiwaza. More likely. So this is a good point as well, right? As you know, as you're starting out in Shiai, this is a good way to play the match if you can help it, right? Try to have your like this, you know, try to think of the court like as two sections, a wide section and a narrow section. Now, if both of you stand dead in the middle of the court, of the Shiai, then of course both are equal. But that doesn't happen so often. At most points, sorry, one of you stood in the narrow side and the other stood in the wide side. And it means you've got your back to most of the Shiai, and your opponent's got only a small area behind them. And this is a very advantageous position to fight the Shiai in. Good. So that was a bit of a shame, wasn't it? You got good semi there actually, good reaction, but then sort of faltered, sort of hesitated. All right, so try to be a little bit less hesitant. You're better having a plan before you step in, rather than stepping in and then deciding what to do. It's not too bad, of course, because you're in the Q division. But if you start to go in the open division and stuff like that, then you're going to struggle with that sort of tactic, you know. See, a bit like this, like you step in. There's a sort of dangerous point where he actually hits your kote, isn't able to make the ippon. But you sort of stepped in without any sort of real idea of what you're going to do. Sort of stepped in and then see what happens. So again, I think it really is about that for me. You see this, because it's disjointed and you're stepping out with the right, it's also a lot slower than it needs to be. All right, you'd be a lot faster if you push from the left leg. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought, oh, that was a good one, yeah. So yeah, that was a good strike. So fantastic, well done, well done. I think, yeah, from what I'm seeing here, it's all about fixing that for Mikomi as we start to progress now. All right. Let's have a look at you in the team match. I think you said you were on the same side. Yeah, on both videos you're the same left side with the white tasky. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is a team match. You're the Taisho. I don't know the result of the match. So it's a bit hard to guess the context, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, so yeah, so here's what you have to be careful of. Yeah, because you went out of the court. Okay, so that's something you have to be careful of when you do hikiwaza. Okay, so here, this is a dangerous one because, you know, he makes a good main strike there, yeah? But because your sort of footwork's not really ready, when you decide to go, you have to sort of adjust it a bit and sort of brace before you can launch, whereas your opponent's already on the way, and that's why they can hit you, okay? This is all about using your left leg properly and making sure that your Fumikomi is a push from the left leg rather than a step out from the right leg. Okay. I don't know if the court seems smaller this time. I don't know if it's maybe it's the camera angle. Did you film the other one on like a wide angle or something? I don't know. The court definitely seems a bit smaller. So almost right. That was really good timing, but because he kind of leapt in the air like this, you know, the whole process is far too slow. Yeah. like the kotenuki men, because one, you jump back and then sort of leapt in the air. You know, he's got loads of time to defend you. If you want to do that kind of kotenuki men, you have to swing the shinai quickly, and you basically keep where you are. It's like ba bam, ba bam, like that, not bam bam sort of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So. Okay, good, good. I like how you're moving around the Shiai jaw. That's very good. Okay, okay. So this is kind of a bit unfortunate, but because you're kind of lifting the shinai so high when you're starting to hit, he's got the chance to hit your kote. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I think at this level of Shiai, there's not a lot to say about that sort of thing. You know, obviously we could go into the sort of minutiae of how that sort of datotsu came about, and you know, and how you could prevent it with your semi. But I think we're just a little bit early for that, to be honest, at this point. I'd rather say focus on using your left leg and your left hand to strike. And I think you'll find that you get hit with this kind of attack much less. Okay, so unfortunately I couldn't quite see that, but it looks like it was sort of the same sort of thing. The same sort of thing. So again, look, I don't think it's the worst point in the world to lose in this case. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose the points, but I think in your case, we need to fix this left leg, all right? And make it so that you're pushing forward with your left leg when you want to do your humikomi. You push with the left leg and launch your body forward and use your left hand to strike, okay? And then when those sort of things sort of click together, you're going to have a much more dynamic set of techniques in your kendo as a whole, and you're going to lose points like this much less, much less, all right? But look, fantastic fantastic performance for the level that you're at. I think you're on the right track. Keep it up, keep doing what you're doing, but just focus on those things I've told you, all right? Think about getting that Fumikomi locked in, all right? So it's not step out with the right foot hits, then the Shinai follows, but launch from the left leg as you strike at the same time, all right? Watch some like maybe high-level Japanese players in slow motion. Look, see if you can figure out the mechanics of how they do the Fumikomi. Okay, right, let's move on to the next submission. Okay, next one. So this one says, "Hi, Fish Sensei. Thank you for all you do to help grow the Kendo community." No, thank you for participating. I wanted to get some feedback on a three. How do I read this? Sandan, Yondan, Shiai loss that I had. So Shiai, I guess, for third dans and fourth dans. I'm in red. Especially the first Kaishido strike I had on my opponent, where I only had one flag raised. I feel I met the requirements of Yuko Datotsu. I applied semi to bait them for men, hit the proper target, and turned around with Zanshin. It's not a shot at the Shimpan, as it's not an easy job, but more of a question is, what should I do in this situation to secure the point? When watching other matches, I felt like door was only awarded to people who ran through and brought the Shinai above their head. Is this a more proper Zanshin to do? Besides that, what can I work on to improve my Shiai as well as prepare for my fourth dan test in a year? Thank you for your hard work and help. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so you're in red, all right? I think you said you lost the match and you're unsure as to why you didn't receive the Ippon for the Kaishido, or why potentially. Well, let's phrase it as this, because I think this is a healthier way of considering it. What was it missing that failed to convince the Shimpan that it was a good enough quality to be considered valid? All right. Okay, so you're the red player here. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm going to just give you a couple of tips first off. All right, first it's going to start with your footwork, as it does with most people in these videos. Right. I don't know if we can see that well because of the way the play bar works, but I can see the left foot here is like turned out to the left this way. and as you're moving, you're like bringing your left foot this way. So you're like, what do you call it? The distance between your feet together, they're too close together. And what this means, when you hit, you're going to turn your hips out. And that's exactly what happens when you try this kote, right? Watch this, watch this. See how your hips turn here? This sort of way, okay? It's hard to get accurate strike. I just want to watch this again. So, you see this men strike here, like, you see how it kind of like, how can I say? It kind of all sort of fizzles out after you hit, right? After you attack. Now, of course, the strike doesn't hit. And the last thing I want you to do is like try and sell a strike that didn't hit, right? But what happens is you kind of, you try to hit, you notice it doesn't hit, and then everything shuts down. So there's no way to link to the next section of the Shiai. You just like, man, okay, missed. And then reset, everything has to start again. Whereas what you need to do is you need to retain concentration, because you might have the chance for hikiwaza or follow-up strike in this moment. And it's a real shame to lose that, you know what I'm saying? And you can see, because look, your feet are like flat on the floor, sort of walking, not in a position to allow you to strike. So this is quite a good chance for hikiwaza. Didn't quite manage to hit the target, and you didn't separate quickly enough from your opponent. Yeah. So the thing about hikiwaza, after hitting, the moment between the strike and then getting a visual separation between yourself and your opponent is like key to being awarded the ippon. So it has to be like bam, and then, you know, I'm not saying you have to like a teenager go flying for ages, but that instant where you hit and the split second after it where you gain that separation has to be dynamic. And that there has to be a visible like separation, you know. I think this is the kaishido you're talking about. It's pretty good timing, I agree with you. It's like, I don't think you're really hitting the Datotsuburi enough, if I'm honest with you. I don't think I'm going to race for this, to be honest with you, either. It's this, you know, like, I think there's too much, and I thought this before with your kote strikes a bit as well. You still got a little bit too much tension in your right hand and right arm, so there's not enough flexibility going on. So it means that when you see when you do this, it's a little kind of clanky, yeah. So you've got the kaisi off really well. Like the defense is good, and then you're turning the shinai quick enough, but it's all a little bit stiff. It's all a little bit stiff. So it kind of, like, your hips have to turn in this weird way so you can try and get the shinai to reach in the right position. And then like the strike itself is kind of not great. You see how you have to sort of twist like this sort of thing. I'm exaggerating what you're doing, but you see how like your right shoulder's coming up like that. You see how your right shoulder's like higher than your left shoulder. Like kaishido isn't, you don't want to do that for the kaishido. It doesn't want to be like this way. It wants to be this way. And it's just a little bit of stiffness, you know, so you're not able to use your wrists to turn the shinai how you need to, all right? I've done a video on kaishido. Have a watch of it and see if you can see what I'm talking about. I think at the end I do a little bit of like a drill of how to do, you know, improve the actual striking. And, you know, so what it results in your case, you see, is it looks like your shinai, you know, you do hit the dodai. You do hit the dodai, but you kind of glance off it and it goes mainly on the tare, right? So you're not quite, you know, properly hitting the target that well. And then it all gets kind of caught up this way. And then your Shiai sort of gets a little bit stuck and you have this sort of issue trying to pull it out. So it doesn't look smooth and it doesn't look cohesive, all right? So it's not amazing in terms of Kikentai no Ichi, all right? So I'm just going to watch it one more time. Look, if this was like Shodan Nidan level, I'd probably raise it. But if you're looking at third Sandan and above, or like sort of standard adult Shiai, like open Shiai, it's just not meeting the criteria of hitting the target properly and having a good, should we say, say it, because your wrists aren't doing the work for you. So you're getting this sort of clackiness, you know? Is that a word, clackiness? And that's why you're getting sort of caught up and snagged. I can see why you're getting a flag. You know what I'm saying? I see why you're getting a flag, but yeah, like, how can I say? The other thing as well is like the cutting action of it. I'm spending a bit of time talking about this Kaishidor because you did mention it. The cutting action of it in yours is like down. So you've gone here and then gone down this way. And that's why I think your right shoulder's like come up a little bit as well. Whereas your Kaishidor wants to be forward. Bam, bam, this way and you go forward that way. It's nothing to do with raising the Shiai up over your head and stuff like that. But pam, pam, this way. Hit into the door and then forward that way, turn round, Zanshin. Do you know what I'm saying? Rather than this kind of this way. Do you understand? I'm exaggerating. It's not as bad as what I'm showing, all right? Just to be clear. But it's that sort of technical issue. So your body's a bit disjointed as your Shiai doesn't quite reach the target. So yeah, I mean, it can't be Kikentai no Ichi, really. You know? For me. Well seen, well executed opportunity. Just need to raise the quality of the door strike itself. Okay, so you see this sort of situation that happens where you have this like I don't really know how to explain it. Like if I was talking in Japanese, I'd say like where you sort of like doing bata bata, like this sort of thing. This is born from your footwork not being sort of locked in. It's mainly from your left leg. So you sort of tried to hit, but then your footwork's kind of gone out sync. So then it's like panic stations all of a sudden, and you're like, "Ooh, it's a bit dodgy," like, you know. So this is about locking in your left foot as well, so that you can avoid the situation. Of course, it doesn't mean you have to always hit. Sometimes you have situations where it's like, whoa, oh, panic stations. Sometimes you have that, but it's how you deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I want to see is instead of this kind of like, sort of thing, instead it's like, bam, okay, we're in a really dodgy position. I need to save myself here. You smooth footwork in, defend, then you can lock into Tsubazariai and look for your next, you know, bring it back together, you know? Okay, so I see what you're doing, right? You're right, the kote is open, but your strikes are inaccurate, right? And your strikes are inaccurate for two reasons, right? One, like your footwork's not backing you up. Now, I'm not even going to beef on you here for having your hips turned, right? Because in order to strike at an angle like this, sometimes you have to turn your hips a bit, all right? I know it's a bit of a bending of a sort of golden rule, but cardinal sin almost. But you sometimes have to do that to be able to strike at this sort of angle. That's cool. That's fine. I don't mind that. But like your footwork is like kind of not, it's disjointed again. So then all you can do is sort of bash out with your right hand, which is what's going on here. The bam, 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 like this. And of course you can't have accuracy. All right. So it's your right hand that's controlling the Shiai here. And that's why, although you you've made the right choice in what you're attacking, all right? Though you could probably also get a men's strike here if you had like your footwork was better, or you know, maybe not. I guess actually now watch it again, but you know, because you kind of it's your right hand doing all the work and your footwork isn't backing up your overall stability, you can't have any accuracy. So I see here you wanting to do the Kaishido again, which was right, but you see how there's a split second before you do the Kaishido where you sink backwards. Yeah? You sink backwards like that much. Yeah, but that's enough. Means that his men can reach. Yeah? So, Kaishido wants to be forward, not backwards this way. Yeah? Your intention semi needs to be forward. So this is a good choice, right? This is yeah, all right. So he raised his hands well over his head so he couldn't hit the kote. What you wanted to do there is instead of like panic here this way, which is dangerous, just keep going forward, you know, which you did, but you need to do that faster. Oh, so this is a close one. It's a close one. Just needed a little bit more like a little bit more sharpness, right? I think in general, you know, as I say, overall, there's just a little bit too much of your right hand controlling the manipulating the shinai, which is why your strikes just lack that bit of sharpness that they need to get the ippon. As much as possible, you want to avoid this position when you're trying to hit. I mean, it's possible to make a strike like this, but I think you're going to struggle. You know, your feet are like this, and your hips are wide out, and you know, I think you really struggle to make a hit that's valid from that position, unless you have exceptionally good tenuichi. This is a good chance, but again, just lacks that sharpness, right? Okay, so this is what I was saying before. So this is an excellent opportunity by your opponent, unfortunately. You see how after hitting, there's this kind of and that's where he's hit you. All right. So there's not a lot you can do about that. But look, I think overall, your kendo's in a good place. All right, it's going in the right direction. Okay, so don't be overly critical of yourself. Going off what I'm saying to you, I just want the best for you. So the main thing you need to take away. Your left foot needs to be less pointed out this way so that your hips aren't wide open when you're striking all the time. And more importantly, you need to relax, try to remove your right hand from the equation more, all right? Because it's just in there too much and it's draining the sharpness from your strikes. So even if you make a hit, a little bit like with the Kaishido before, it doesn't have the sort of sharpness, the sae, in order to be sort of considered valid. Do you know what I'm saying? And you know, if you're able to do that, I think your door strikes would get much smoother, much crisper, and much can it be crisp and smooth at the same time? Don't know, but you know, smooth in one way and crisp in the other. But and I think you'd see a lot more success. All right, keep it up. You're going in the right direction, no doubt about it. Okay, next one. Okay, hi Andy, I'm waiting for you. I'm writing to you from Italy. Okay, I'd like your opinion on my fifth dan exam. I'm sending you the video with my first attempt. I've been practicing Kendo for about 16 years. Unfortunately though, I've tried several times to pass fifth dan and I seem to be stuck. Before that time, I only failed once in my first attempt to third dan. Is it true that it is true that I used to be supervised by my instructor, whilst for the past few years I found myself managing on my own and trying to run my small dojo independently. Also, because of the pandemic, we literally lost months of practice because in Italy we're really blocked to contact sports. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I try to practice intensely whenever I can, but unfortunately it seems at the expense of extensive training I'm not catching something. Now, in July, I'd like to try the exam again as I live close to Milan, the city that will host the World Championships. Yep, I'll be there. So it wouldn't make sense not to try. But I feel a bit doubtful. I'm sending you the video of my first attempts because I still can't understand why I failed and the other two passed. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. I'm using all KendoStar equipment. Thank you very much. Okay. So here's the key point, right? And this is really important. I'm really appreciative of this. All right. I really appreciate that you recognize you don't understand why you failed. Okay. And that's obviously the key, right? So let's get to this and have a look. So you're the one with the red tenugu, which I guess is the one with the back to us. All right. So this is for fifth dan. Now let me preface this. Let's be clear. Okay. At my current stage, I'm not qualified to sit on a grading panel for fifth dan. All right. I'm not allowed to be on a grading panel for fifth dan. So I can't tell you for certain what this grading panel is looking for. And I can't even tell you that when I sit on fifth dan panels, this is what I look for because I don't sit on fifth dan panels. So all I can tell you is my point of view as somebody that's been through the exam myself and been through the one after that. All right. So let's have a look and see what we're dealing with. Okay. I'm going to just watch a little bit, all right, so excuse me if I don't talk much. Okay. I understand. And I also understand your frustration because you're making a lot of strikes. You're making a lot of valid strikes. How am I going to phrase this in the right way? All right. I don't mean this in a derogatory way. All right. I don't mean this in a derogatory way. I don't mean this in a bad way. All right. I'm talking about this from the point of view of the strategy that you are applying to the shinsa rather than your technical ability. All right. But this looks like a nidan shinsa. All right. This looks like a nidan shinsa. Ya, step in, datotsu. Ya, step in, datotsu. Or I should say, ya, step in, datotsu hit, zanshin. And I'm putting that in air quotes for a reason. I'll get to that in a minute. Turn around, ya, step in, hit, zanshin, turn around, ya, step in, hit. It looks like a nidan shinsa in that regard, all right? I'm not talking about the quality of your kendo, all right? I'm not saying that you're doing nidan level kendo. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the strategy you're applying to this grading, all right? You know, let me see the next one, all right? I want to see the next tachiai before I get too deep on this, all right? So I know as a channel viewer, this might not be the most entertaining because I'm not saying a lot, but I'll get to it, all right? Just let me watch the video. Your strikes are spot on, mate. Your strikes are good. Strikes are good. I can understand why you come away from this and be like, well, how did I fail? I can understand that, but I get it. I understand because, you know, it's okay. So I guess I can. Wait, did it cut? Did it cut? That's me skipping it, you see. Yeah, okay, cut. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is your second one. Now you're facing the camera. Okay. Again, I'm just going to watch for a minute. I'll come back with the commentary in a second, all right? So... Okay, all right. Okay, I think I've seen enough of this to understand, to sort of... right, okay, let's go back to your first one, all right? Right, I'm going to say something, and I hate saying this about gradings. I hate saying it, but like, this is, I understand why this gets given as feedback now, having watching this, all right? Like, there's just too much. Like, there's just too much. You're just hitting too much, and it's not like... And what the problem is like, you're like, it's not that you should be limited to how many you hit, but like, you just over eager. As I said, it looks like a Nidan exam where you just, yeah, step in, man, and then turn around, yeah, step in, kote, yeah, step in. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no like semei. There's no expression of di or semei between you and the other person where you're like, you know what I mean? Like, you just step in and hit, and then you turn around, yeah, and then you step in and hit. And now the issue is, I understand why you don't, why it's caused a bit of a difficulty for you to recognize why you failed, because you're stepping in and you're hitting points. You are hitting them, right? You are hitting them, but they don't want to see if you can do like the technical section. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do have to be able to make successful hits. That's true as well. But it's not clear if you're making successful hits because your semi is effective, or just that the other person wasn't able to, like, was just, I don't know, like, how can I say? Because it's not necessarily wrong either, but like, the other person was just trying to engage with you and you just leapt forward and hit, and they weren't able to respond with that. Now, that's their issue as well. But like, the problem is you're not like, there's no like, yeah, right, come on, let's, the hit is the result of what they're looking at, not what they're looking at. Yeah. So this part here, there's no like, gah, bam, this way. It's just, yeah, huh, bam, yeah, huh, bam. That little bit before where you're sort of interacting and there's like this semi, sa, pam, 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 this sort of thing just isn't there. Do you understand? So it's super difficult. I get it, because you're like, yeah, but let's look, right? Let's look. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. All right, so you did 8 like attacks, and like this is super hard to explain, but let me pick a good example. Here's a good example one. Right, I know this looks like you're trying to show that you're doing semi, but you're not. You're not. You stood in front of him and you're moving your Shiai going, yeah. And then when you're ready to hit, you just hit. Like there's no like, why? You know? But he's trying to, the other side's trying to get you to hit. They're trying to do, you know, and you're just like, sort of stood there. And you see this Kaishidor. This Kaishidor looks like you're just waiting for him to do the Kaishidor. Just waiting for him, moving your Shiai and just wait, and then he's trying to get some sort of reaction off you, and then nothing happens. So then he hits, and then you do this Kaishidor you've been waiting for. That's not the kind of Kaishidor they're looking for this kind of Kaishidor is not Ippon, to be honest, because there's no semi. It's not like, you know, it's just waiting, bam, bam, sort of thing. If we go off this men as well, right? Like, it's 100% you're just hitting when you want to hit. Yeah? All right? There's no reason for you to, you know, you didn't, and you know, fair dues, you know, the other guy hits because you hit, but you didn't get him to hit, you know? You didn't create the opportunity. You just like stood in, okay, time to hit, let's go, you know? Which is why I think it comes off as, like I say, like it looks like the kind of Nidan Shinsa. And I'm not saying, or Sandan Shinsa, we could say Sandan Shinsa too. I'm not saying the quality of Kendo is that. It's not. The quality of your Kendo is very good, and you're absolutely capable of passing this exam. But the issue you've got is the strategy that you've put in place. All right? Now, the second thing, and this is a big thing for me, is this. Like, why are you looking over here? The guy's there. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, I know when you're doing Ikkyu, Shodan, Nidan, Sandan, you know, you do the sort of Kihon men that you do in a Chikomi or whatever, which is really, it's not the real one, right? Like, your intention is totally away from the opponent, whereas your partner, after hitting, keeps his attention towards you. Bam, this way, keeps his eyes on you. You know, you don't want to take your eyes off him. Now, after you hit Kaishido, you have to for a split second to get past and then keep your intention towards them. And the same thing happens here, right? Here, your intention is completely away from your opponent. Your opponent's not in your mind at all. Yeah. So, for me, I mean, I sit on fourth dan exams, and I fail people for fourth dan for this. It's not zanshin. It's not zanshin. It's lack of zanshin. It's lack of zanshin, because you're just forgetting about the opponent. All right. So that's a really important thing. Let me see if I can find you a better example of fifth dan. I know this has turned into a really long video, and we've still got 2 more submissions to do, but I'm sure everyone's happy to watch. Here's a quick video I found of a fifth dan exam from Japan. Okay, I'm not sure how long ago this is from. I'm pretty sure the chap on the left here is the one that passes. I don't know if this guy does, but I'm pretty sure this is a pass for this guy, having had a quick look at it. All right. Okay, so straight off this first man, all right, it's not just, there's interaction here, right? Bam, bam. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then his opponent, you know, in response to his semi, starts to react. So he gets the Dibana in, all right? This is different to what you're doing, all right? In yours, step in, and when you're ready, man, this way, right? It's really clear Divanamen. And of course he doesn't run off this way, he keeps intention towards the partner. Same thing. I don't know how old these guys are. I don't think they're super young. Right? I don't think they're like... Yeah, but can you understand? There's an interaction between the two of them, and and again, it's not like these guys aren't hitting each other much. Already they've done, they've done sort of 5 or 6 hits, maybe a bit more. So it's not even just the number of strikes, I think, but just what's happening before the actual strike. Yeah, this part. What's coming on? Come on then. Let's see what you're gonna do. See what you're gonna do. Sa, bam, this way, rather than yeah, man, sort of thing. It's a different approach. Okay, it's difficult for me to explain in this short time. All right, and we've still got 2 submissions, so I need to move on. But I hope that makes sense. I think you're definitely capable of passing this 5th Dan exam. 100%. All right, you just need to change your strategy. You need to think about what happens before you strike rather than just making the strikes. Okay. All right. I really wish you the best of luck in Milan at the WKC. Okay. Okay. Next one. Right. So let me read the accompanying message with this. It says, okay. This is I had attended the 4th Dan examination and failed it. I'd like some feedback. I start on the right side of the screen with the green door and the 1st and 3rd matches. My Shiai broke during the 1st match. Okay, let's have a look then. Okay, so you said the right side with the green door? Is that green? I'm guessing this side then, okay? This is a 4th Dan, okay? Okay, right. So similar thing to what I just said before, right? Okay, so you're sort of just attacking randomly. Which I think is the issue, yeah? Shiai broke, okay, fine. That is what it is. Okay, so this is a reaction to the other person hitting you, yeah? They tried to hit and you sort of jumped and hit, so you didn't really have the proper Fumikomi either, all right? Again, now what's happening here is almost everything you're doing is just now reacting to the person. This was a good man. This is a good man. This is a good man for you, okay? But I think the problem is everything that's surrounding it is a little bit weak because it's you reacting to the other person a lot, all right? I think I think this must be a close one though. I don't think this is a a cut and dry one. I think you're close to passing. So your opponent's doing Nito. Okay. Okay. So let's look at that men, all right, which was a great men, but it was really clearly without the Kikentai no Ichi, okay? Your Fumikomi and your strike are not synchronized. Look. Yeah, you're like leaping in the air, okay? So there's a technical issue here as well, all right? Technical issue. So again, you see, this is a good strike, a good chance for strike, but technically, technically not good enough. Again, we're sort of jumping as we're hitting, all right? So you need to push from the left leg, make the proper Fumikomi. Not jump up this way, yeah? Okay, good. But again, you see, there's not a lot here of you leading the match. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's all you responding. It's all very responsive, and I think that's the key that you sort of struggle with in this exam. All right. So one is you need to improve your kentai no ichi. All right. Make sure that you you have the better synchronization of your footwork with your shinai, and two is you have to not be reactive. You have to not be random. Your strikes have to have purpose. And similar to the 5th Dan exam, that we talked about in the last feedback one, okay, the last submission, it has to be from your seme, your strike, all right? I think you're capable of passing. I don't think it was like a clear fail. I think there's definitely, I think you're close if you consider those points, all right? I think if you get those points sorted, then I don't think you'll have a problem. Okay. Okay. Last one. So, let me check the message that came with this. Okay. Hello, Andy Fisher Sensei. One of the female members of our club passed her shodan test in November 2023, and it was after 2.5 years of practicing in full boga. I've recorded her one exam fight. Can you watch it and give a few words of feedback? This year I want her to take Nidan. If it's possible, I'll send you the video. Okay, so cool. So this video is from last year when this person took the shodan. She's on the right side, and her opponent has the white menhimo. Okay. This is her passing the shodan, and you want advice for how she can pass the nidan. Okay. So this one here. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so stop doing that for a start. All right. Good strike. But then don't run off with your back to the other person. All right? Don't run off with your back to the other person. Okay? Just as I said before. Really, we need to stop. We need to stop it, to be honest. I get it, right? Look, in the first... EQ shodan, fine. All right? But this is excessive. You still need to have the intention towards the other person. Man, turn around, next one. Man, turn around, next one. But not just, man, I hit everybody. Like, just forget about them. Okay, it's just unnecessary. And she definitely deserves to pass the shodan. And I think she can pass Nidan too. But I wanted to stop running off after hitting. Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Look, she's got no problem. She'll pass Nidan. There's no worries there. No worry at all. Just, I wanted to stop running away after hitting, okay? Keep eyes on the opponent as much as possible. Like this situation is just like nonsense, right? It's not their fault. It's not their fault. This is for some reason what is instilled in them, right? But like, why are they both running away from each other? So, I think that's the first thing. The second thing is the position of her left hand after hitting. She's like too much like this, like the two together like that. All right, wants to be like, man, this way. All right, man, that way, not this way. It's too much this way. Okay, so left hand's a little bit too high, like, and the shinai is going up this way. You know what I mean? Okay, good. So look, yeah, that's it, right? She's got every chance passing you down. No problem at all. All right. I wanted to stop running away, and I wanted to lower the left hand after hitting. Let me see if I can show you a knee down exam before we wrap up, as a good example, and then that will close the video off nicely. Okay, so I found this knee down exam. This is a knee down exam from Japan. Obviously, like every prefecture up to fifth dan does their gradings in their own way. It looks like in this particular place, they do some like uchikomi before they do the jitsugi, which is fine. And they do 2 groups at a time as well, which I think is super efficient. But then, you know, they'll have loads of people doing nidan. So I've skipped ahead to the part where they're doing the jigeko, all right? And you'll see what I mean, okay? So this is what I sort of, I'm sure all of these candidates passed. I'm sure they all passed, all right? I think this is like what a nidan exam should look like. Now, bear in mind, these kids have been doing Kendo probably since they were little. They're now like probably 13, 14 years old, all right? So, of course, they're going to have technical ability. But I'm not talking about the technical ability. I'm talking about the flow, okay? Yeah, you see how they're not like running away from each other? After hitting, they keep their eyes on each other, okay? Similar here, yeah? Use lots of different waza, yeah? They're not running off into the sunset, okay? Yeah, and even if they do have a momentary break in eye contact, maybe after hitting the kaishido or something like that, their intention stays towards the partner, yeah? Okay? And this is an easy nidan pass every day of the week, all 4 of them, no problem, okay? Now, I'm not saying this, you know, I'm not talking about the technical ability, right? I'm talking about the strategy. They're showing they know lots of different types of waza. They have a technical proficiency, all right? And they understand what the datotsu, the strikes, should look like, all right? That's what a nidan should be, all right? That's what nidan should be. Should be showing that they know you know, they know a variety of waza, and that they know how to, you know, hit with Kikentai no Ichi and with Zanshin. All right, Zanshin. Running off into the sunset, not Zanshin. Okay, so there we go. I know it was a super long video today. Thank you very much for joining me. We got through 5 submissions there. I think there's something in it for everybody. We've got high level Shinso, we've got lower level Shinso, we've got lower level Shiai, we've got higher level Shiai. We've got a bit of something for everyone. All right, so I really hope it was useful. Thank you very much for joining me today. Don't forget all the like, share, subscribe, shop at KendoStar. If you'd like to send a submission for yourself, all you have to do is upload the video to YouTube, set the privacy to unlisted, or you put it public. Just don't set it to private, and then send it me by email, mail@kendostar.com. I do cover every single one of these, all right? And thank you very much to everyone that sent them today. So if you want to send one in, that's how you do it, okay? Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.